Hello YouTube world, and welcome to the video today. Firstly, I would like to say thank you very much to all the new subscribers to the channel. Really appreciate your support. If I haven't subbed you already, then I certainly will get around to doing so, and thank you once again for subscribing and choosing to be part of this channel. It's your channel as well, so please do send me any feedback or comments that you'd like to see stuff done on the layout in future, or any future ideas that you might have that you'd like me to do. And also any trains you'd like to see running. Just shout out a particular train. If I've got it in my stock, I'll run it for you. Anyway, enough waffle. I want to share with you some really practical scratch build ideas that you can do on your railway at home, and certainly to me improve the appearance of something and also tell a story. So moving on to what I'm going to talk about today, firstly in this part of the video, is how to improve an existing Hornby TPO set. TPO being short for Travelling Post Office. Now Hornby do a Travelling Post Office set which is mechanically operated on the track. It relies on 2 collection ramps and a hook and a mail bin, and also some mail bags that it picks up from the hook, takes it around and drops it off wherever you wish to put it on the layout. Great fun for all the family, hours of entertainment. I've got one. However, I felt that my TPO set needed a little bit of more realistic appearance, shall we say. And the way I always look at things in a model railway, I always look about how I could shrink myself down to 00 scale size as a figure, as a person, and how would I go about operating something and how would it work. So I looked at the TPO apparatus, the collection apparatus, and I thought it looks a bit bland with just basically a stick post, a hook and a very flimsy little metal ladder. And if I was a man carrying those mail sacks on my shoulder, there's no handrails to grab onto and no way to stand up and swing the hook round to hook them on and swing it back out for the collection of the mail train. So what I came up with was this. This is my partly scratch built TPO collection apparatus. Very simple to do. All I needed for the job was an existing bothy hut, and a bothy hut was a nickname for the little tiny shelter accommodation that you'd find next to ground frames and signals for the fogman or flagman to work during the very bad weathers, when he uses flags and detonators to do hand signalling as required, and also in the winter conditions he could have somewhere to stand it if it rained or snowed. Basically I had this from leftover Thomas the Tank Engine set that came with a bundle deal that you get line side details with. That's half of it there. The rest of it is over in the coal yard, in terms of the coal yard office, which I've done there, and the little outside outhouse, which again came as a little set with loading gauge and signs and bits and pieces. Put them to good use. I've still got the rest of the bits and pieces I haven't used yet, but I thought that was quite neat. It could be used somewhere else. Anyway, back to the TPO collection apparatus. All I really did was basically took some coffee stirrers and a piece of plasticard, drilled a hole in the plasticard relevant to the collection hook, filed it out with a round file, slotted it over the top, glued it in place, and then the decking was made out of coffee stirrers, cut to size and filed and then painted accordingly. And there was an old Hornby Quick Fit series signal box ladder that came from an old signal box of the same ilk, and I put it on the end of that, and we have something. Let me just flip this around a minute. Ooh, apologies. We have something like this. Come on, camera. I don't want to zoom in. My helicopter flying skills are not great today, folks. There we go. So yeah, as you can see, we've now got a working platform up there for your little person to go up there safely, hang the mailbag hooks on there, and ascend and descend the steps safely. Put the mailbags on the hook and leave them up there also waiting for the next collection. On the ground, I say we've got a bothy hut in there. Should it rain or get cold, you've got somewhere to sit and wait while he's waiting for his next duties. And in relation to that, let me bring the camera out a little bit. Ugh. Excuse me, I'll just flip that round. There we go. So there's got to be a way of leaving the mail bags ready for the next lot. So I thought an ingenious way, very simply, would be to add some of the mail sacks or mail bags to the Hornby platform trolleys that you get with the station bundles. You get the booking office or waiting rooms and platform sections normally, and every Hornby station, the Quick Fit series normally, you get extra super detail items like clocks, weighing scales, and you get loads of these platform trolleys with them. So I decided to paint mine and also add some mail bags on there, and that way we can tell a story, because we can say the mail bags are there, that's the next one's right, we're waiting for the next mailbag collection. They'll be taken off the trolley, up the ladder there, placed on the working platform, the hook swung inwards, placed on the hook, swung outwards for the next collection, and so forth. So I thought that was a great idea, and just a little silly idea to come up with in terms of improving a scene and making it more realistic. That's the name of the game. Something else that you can do at home as well, before we do some running some trains. Water cranes. If you've got steam locos in the layout, and you need, obviously steam locos, they need fuel and they need water, so you need cold stays, and also you need plenty of water cranes about. A little trick that I did, this is a kind of a scratch built modification job. Again, this was an old Hornby water crane, and what I'd done was cut the base off because it was too large and chunky. Then I super glued it on, cut it onto a Pico water crane base, and used the pull chain and super glued that on the back of it. But the actual leather hose, or the water bag, where it comes out, where the water comes out, and obviously the fireman would drive, or driver would put the hose end of it into the tender tank, or the tanks on top of the loco, and then pull a handle and the water would come out. Now what I've done for this effect, I just simply cut a piece of electrical wire, and then at the ends what I've done was simply glue the end of it and then pinch it together with a pair of pliers whilst it's drying, so you give the impression of the leather hose on the end of the water crane being slack until the water pressure comes out of it, and just add a little bit of dirt and paint on there to make it look a little bit grimy, because they're always grubby. And then on the deck beneath it we've got an overspill of water, as you can see there, and that was a mixture of woodland scenic realistic water. It's like a very heavy duty varnish, and also I added some Humbrol clear on top of that as well. Made a couple of layers of that up as well, just to give a overfill of water effect, because obviously where you've got water cranes, sometimes they got a little bit overzealous with the water filling, chucked it over the loco or on the floor normally. And obviously you can see my 4 foot in between the rails there is a mixture of cinders and ash and coal and dirt and crap, which is what you typically see around steam sheds. Okay, that's enough of that. So yeah, some super detail items there that are easy to do. That's easy to do, and certainly if you want to feel a bit more adventurous and spruce up your TPO collection apparatus, that's an idea that I've done. You don't have to do it exactly like I've done. You might have a different way of doing it. You might have some better steps or something very basic, but as it comes when you buy it with the travelling post office coach, it normally, as I say, it comes with just simply a base and a hook and a little tiny metal ladder, and that might work for you, but I think it's a little bit bland and a bit non-operational, not very realistic. So you can easily build something a little bit more acceptable like that. Anyway, that's enough of that. I'm going to stop the video now, and we'll just do some running and get some trains going. I'm sure that's what you'd like to see. So go and grab yourself a beverage of your choice, and I shall see you shortly. Okay, welcome back to part 2. Hope you've got something to drink and sitting comfortably, and there'll be no talking hardly from me, which I'm sure will be a delight to most of you. We'll just get on and do some running. So we'll get out Met 20 from the shed. That's rostered to take the Sunday service out. So in the platform they're waiting, we've got some terrestrial coaches. These are old LMS Hornby, Hornby stroke trying ones. These are Hornby ones, and these are actually varnished, 2 to 3 coats of Humbrol clear on these, and gives it a nice shiny appearance. So they're in the platform waiting. So what I'll do is bring out Met 20 and we'll get the show on the road. Right, okay.